Okay, so let's go ahead and this is our lesson for day 3, I guess, of our interactive digital story writing. Today, good job. I wanted to compliment you on your Monday message. I only have 2 people that didn't get that finished, and they were both absent. So when you are absent, and if you feel like it, you can go ahead and get your work done. That way you don't get behind. And then we have how do you create an interactive collaboration? Unfortunately, I still have 20 people that still need to do that. Thank you, the 10 of you who did it. I really appreciate you. So now let's go ahead and look at where you're going to complete your digital story and submit it. In order for me to show it, I have to go in here to do edit. So you're going to review the rubric to complete your story. The more interaction actions, the more engaging your story will be. And then when you add your names anywhere, please just add your first name and last initial. That's kind of a standard security thing when publishing on the web, or doing anything that might be digital. And then you need to plan your story on paper first. And as I explained in the previous video, that you have these option charts. I explained them in class. Basically, that's to help you with your choices. And you will create a better product if you have a plan than if you just kind of write as you go along. You're going to wander off and it's going to get kind of confusing. But if you have a plan and maybe you can intertwine things and make some unexpected things, maybe one choice leads you right back to the beginning. Um, so just kind of see what you can do with that. So let's look at the rubric, which is how we grade things. There are 4 categories, 25 points each for a total of 100 points. Okay, our categories, instead of doing mastery and um, apprentice and novice and those sort of things, we're going by colors. And so we have green, yellow, orange, and red. Red means you're just getting started. Green means you know what you're doing. Orange and yellow are kind of in between. So the first one, something to think about. Can some choices have the same result? Just something to put out there. So this first one is choices in your story. So if you have only 10 choices, that's going to be in the red category. With the number of people working, the amount of time we've been devoted to this, you all said those other ones were lame. 10 choices, kind of lame. You can go to orange category if you have 11 to 15 legitimate choices. And it has to make sense in the story. Don't just start adding silly stuff. Everybody needs to be on the same page and writing on the same story. And we'll talk about that later. And then yellow, 16 to 21 choices. And then green, if you do 25 or more choices, then you would get 25 points. That would be like your factor tree, where when you get down, as we talked about on the Google form, where you went in and you decided you did the section headings, you wrote your story, and let's see where. Oh, that is not what we want. That is the assignment that you should have already done. Sample blanch form. So here's where, like, this would be my section heading. I wrote my story. Then I came down here to my first question. So on these, wherever they went on those graphic organizers, that's where you would write down your choices. Now mine was kind of lame, actually. So that I just wrote down the 3 stories, but that would be one way to have a choice. So that then I could follow Sky, I could follow Ty, or I could follow Finn. And then you get after section 1. So then we did it and set it up to where you have your sections. Remember, you need to set your sections up first. So for right now, for my story, I have 3 choices. So mine would be in the red category. But mine isn't finished. I just got started. Okay? The next one, correct grammar, punctuation, spelling, capitalization, organization, and school appropriate. The story is complete and the endings make sense. So if all along you're talking about the 3 little puppies in my example, and all of a sudden somebody gets tired of writing it and they suddenly make them turn into zombies, and zombies come out of nowhere and eat them. If that doesn't follow along with the storyline, which there is good things in surprise endings, but that was, think about you as the reader. If you read a story and that's what happened, are you going to feel satisfied, or that that it was a good story? So everything kind of needs to make sense, go with the flow. Okay, so green, your work is proofread and double checked multiple times and it's publishable. So that means it would pretty much be perfect. Okay, yellow, there are very few errors, hardly noticeable. Orange, there are more errors. And then red, there's numerous errors, and that could be spelling mistakes, punctuation, grammar, sentence structure, pretty much what you would do in language arts. Okay. Then illustrations. Those are our people that are really good with drawings. So if all the choices and descriptions have correlating illustrations, you've got lots of pictures, lots of things to look at, because I think pictures add to the story. I have heard that a picture's worth 1,000 words. Sorry. Anyway, so yellow would take you down. Oh, I didn't say that that was green. I will fix that for you. Orange, you got half of the stories with correspond. I had to do like a percentage because I don't know how many choices you're going to have. So if you only have 5 choices and or 10 choices and only 5 of them have pictures, notice that's not going to give you a very high score. And red if you really don't have very many choices, descriptions, or correlating illustrations. Okay, so illustrations or drawings. And they need to be related. If the story of my story was about puppy dogs, if I have pictures of zombies and butterflies, that has nothing to do with the story. Okay, and then they've turned it in on time. So we'll look at when this assignment was due. All the directions are followed, so nobody typed in their entire name. Everything is spelled correctly. Everything is punctuated. All the I's are dotted. The T's are crossed. Everything looks good. It's complete and obvious evidence. I'll leave that for your definition, that everyone worked on the project. So if I know there's 3 people working and it doesn't look like 3 people worked because some of you were wandering around the room, chatting, you were the person that was entertaining the group while they did work. That does not count as a job cast. So, once again, we have green, on time or early, complete story, obvious everybody contributed and collaborated. Um, Late, but evidence everyone contributed significantly in the collaboration. So, your part cannot be that I sharpened his pencil. That does not count as a collaboration. Late but complete, can't tell if everyone contributed. Notice you're losing almost 10 points here between those using 8 points to go from green to orange. And then red, it's incomplete or it's late because I'm getting a lot of work that's not turned in on time. And we need to try to follow due dates. So that's the rubric. Once again, here's the option charts. You're doing your flow chart. You can look back at the other videos if you have questions, or you can ask me. And good luck. I hope you like this project.